Hello and welcome to Hawaii Showtimes. I'm Dr. Z, your host for this evening. Hawaii Showtimes is a weekly television series featuring Hawaiian and Asian actors, producers, and directors, as well as productions or documentaries of Asian themes. And I guess tonight, being in the heart of the city of Honolulu, Oahu, the state of Hawaii, a popular figure, Nathan Young. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you again, Dr. Z.
It was
for
a
having
pleasure, always a pleasure of seeing you. I guess today we're actually going to spend our whole show talking about your film venture.
me. Yes.
So
I
I'm
see,
very excited. I thought about this idea, and here we are. So I guess you've done a number of pictures, and you also have some quite extensive education as well as martial arts experiences. Perhaps, and we're going to talk about all of the production that you're in, all of the major roles that you've been undertaken. Maybe if you want to just kind of educate the audience a little bit about your background, your education, and how you get into acting and
Yes.
so on. Yeah.
So mostly, I'm a kinesiology graduate of UH Manoa. I studied the body. If you don't know what that is, that's basically muscles, bones, and biomechanics of movement for many different sports or even for exercise. I'm a martial artist. I've been in Seoul for about 20 years now. I started when I was 8 years old. Uh, yeah, so like a lot of different things. I studied first in karate. I was doing a style called Keichudo, and it was like a mix of jujitsu and karate and a little bit of kung fu. And I did that for many years for when I was young. And then I really wanted to explore other kinds of arts. What really interested me was Bruce Lee. Around the time I was just before 18, like 16 or 17, I started reading his books and then really getting into it. So then I wanted to start training. I found a couple of teachers in Jeet Kune Do, studied with them for a number of years. One of them, his name is Professor Kainoa Lee. He introduced me to Richard Bastillo, who's one of his main students in LA, and who had recently just passed, unfortunately. But so we celebrated his life, and I really appreciate what he's done for me and for the art of Jeet Kune Do. So that's my background mostly. I did film, as you said. I started maybe a few years ago, just going to casting calls and trying to get parts and getting into casting directors' view. Some of them have been 5-0, Hawaii 5-0. It's just getting some extra parts here and there, kind of getting introduced to their business. But yeah, that's how it starts off.
Okay.
We started doing, as you said, maybe like my first film was Curse of the not Birth of the Dragon, but the Tattoo Club.
Tattoo Club and
Yeah.
Curse of the Dragon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna lead into that.
Yeah.
So as far as that's concerned, that I guess you consider that as your major role,
Yeah, that
your
was my
first major role.
First major
So then, why don't you tell the audience a few things? Tell them about how you got into it, what was your character, what you liked and what you didn't like about the production,
Yeah.
and then also how you contribute to the popularity of the picture. Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Sure. Yeah. So what I played was the main character Flex. He was the one who has the dragon tattoo. Actually, he at first is kind of like a brother of the main organization. There's this huge organization that's called the Tattoo Club. That each tattoo has its own power, in a sense. So, different like snake style, you would see like in martial arts. There's many different animal forms. So it was kind of based on that kind of idea of each tattoo has its own power, supernatural power, but also a certain kind of fighting style. I was playing Flex, who later received the dragon tattoo after fighting one of the opponents. Each one is, if you lose in a match, the power transfers. So if you beat someone with one of the tattoos, you would gain their powers. So that's how the Tattoo Club worked. I contributed by being first the actor, then I also was partly the action choreographer. I helped coordinate all the scenes. Most of the people there didn't have any martial art background. So a lot of times I was training them in each fight scene. We would meet at like UH, and I would have them.
So
partner
you
up.
wear a few hats. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
feel a
just
few
the
hats.
acting.
Yeah, not just the acting.
Right. Okay.
Stunt coordination.
Yeah, And what you got out of it? What did you like about it?
Well, I definitely like that I got to work with many different kinds of people, and that I really enjoyed what I did doing it. The work was fun. Sometimes it was difficult working with people in other senses, like spending the time, like, which is like sometimes really late nights. You know, like it's tough sometimes when you got being a student.
Late nights is common in
Yeah, it's
acting.
common, but you know, it's common. But you know, like, and having to work with even like how the director and me would have to work on the story, how the story would work with the fight scene. So you know, just the normal stuff that you would expect, but you know, everything has some difficulties. So it's
Right.
it's
And
pretty
then so that went to the theater. What stage is it in now? Is it online or?
I believe it's online, and he's still developing it now. He wants to. It was at the time an indie film. He wants to get it out to like a true film. So that's
okay.
something that he's still working on currently. I've heard little things here and there, and some of my friends who were in the production also
Okay.
has told me some things, but it's still on its working. Its
Okay.
way
Well,
through.
good luck with that. Yeah. Then we're going to roll on to your other feature, the one that's called the Stop Hit.
Yes,
And that
Stop.
was actually part 2, in fact, and it was shot in Hong Kong. Okay, so you want to elaborate a little bit more on that? And
Right, the Stop Hit. That was the one. Was I playing Poe in that one?
I
Yes.
believe, yeah.
I was playing Poe. There is a.
And then you had you had to work with one of the all-time Hong Kong,
Chan
Hong
Kwon
Kong
Tai.
Chan Kwon Tai.
Yeah,
You
Chan
know,
Kwon
he's
Tai.
one of the original Shaw Brother veteran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was a great experience because we were shooting at Enter the Dragon location that Bruce Lee
Yeah.
shot. So that was quite amazing. That was a great experience. Working with everyone there was so many different talents and different fighters. Getting to work with them, but Chan Kwon Tai was definitely the most excited to work with because of his background and because
Right.
of what he's
Right.
done.
Yeah.
And getting to talk with him. Even he was talking about stories about Bruce Lee because he had met him in person.
Right. Yeah. And also I remember because I was also on the set, right?
Yes.
And
you were
there
there.
it was funny that after he directed the scene, people ask him questions and he says, "Well, we don't teach that in film school." He's
Right.
old crap from the old Shaw Brother days,
Yes,
you
the old
know?
Shaw Brother
Yeah.
days.
So
Yeah, he basically was choreographing on the site.
yeah.
He just like do
Right.
it the way, the same timing and everything, and it
Yeah.
was really neat to see that and to work with him and watch
Yeah.
how he filmed
Yeah.
things. So he was part of the even helping to
Right.
get the right camera angles for different things.
Yeah, so he really contribute, you know, and back in, you know, figure about why all these people, you know, like Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung, I mean, it's like, you know, they wear many hats. It's very different that, you know, even in Hollywood production or even in 5-0, right, you only wear 1 or 2 hats, but
Yeah.
they wear everything. That was good. And yeah, I think the Stop Hit 1 and 2 would come out pretty soon this year.
Oh,
In
wow.
wide distribution, yeah.
Yeah.
Then your other picture, the one that you shot where you were actually kicking your parkour
Oh, yeah.
adversaries into the ocean.
Uh-huh.
And it's called The Return of the Panther. You want to
Right.
elaborate a little bit more on that?
This one, I was playing a detective, and kind of a trigger happy one at that, I guess, like someone who's doesn't go by the book exactly, but I was also a great fighter. So there was one scene in an alley which I would like us to see,
Yeah.
where I was fighting this drug deal. Basically, I was busting these guys. It was supposed to not go down the way it did, but because of me being a trigger happy fighter, like I ended up taking down all of them. So
Great.
let's see what that.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look.
Where you from?
I'm just here for the body.
That's not what I said.
Are we good? It's all there.
That's not what I said.
We got the money. I just moved for the stuff.
Want it? I'm gonna ask you one more time.
You got what you want? You got the money.
Son of a bitch!
Captain? I'm bringing in 3.
You're only supposed to set up for the buy.
There's been a change of plans.
Oh yeah, that's quite an alley.
Yeah. I remember shooting there. It was quite dirty. I remember we were trying to like keep our stuff
Yeah,
safe. At the same time watching.
I know
how-
exactly where that is.
Yeah, exactly where it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a fun scene, and it was really nice when it finally got done, what it looked like. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy with that.
Right, and then there was some daredevil diving scene into the ocean.
Yes,
you
that
know,
was
and
also a great one.
it was I guess stunt people were hired to do that,
Right.
and then you actually kicked a few people into the ocean. That wasn't any trick. You want
Nope,
to
that
tell
was
us a
true.
little bit about that? How you rehearse it, and how were you happy with the outcomes? And
Yeah, so we only had one take for that, of course, because once you go in the water, there's no coming back after that. We can't redo any of the scenes, so we kept doing it over and over again, getting the fight scene up to the point where the kick-off would have happened. And then finally, after maybe a few rehearsals and a few shots, it's like, okay, let's do it. And then I just kicked these guys in the water, and they like flew all the way in, hit the water, and there's a big splash where the wave comes up too, which made it really nice. It was good timing on that.
Yeah, that's got the cliff of Honolulu, I mean,
Yeah.
and Oahu, the cliffs of Oahu written all over it.
You look like a former employee of mine. And soon, you are the vigilante monkey from Hong Kong, so you're not a buffoon after all. First thing we need is a reliable automobile. Hello?
Showtime!
Who are you after?
Dilo.
Who the hell are you?
boy. Where the hell is that masked man?
You know a Steven Seagal?
Voila.
Yeah.
You know, so when the audience sees it, when it's, yeah,
Yeah.
that was quite tremendous. So I guess speaking of Honolulu, 5-0, you know, 5-0 is like the big brothers here, and
Yeah.
it's like they got the popularity actually from a long time ago. The
Right.
original 5-0 with Jack Lord.
Yeah.
I actually like the original better. I think the 5-0 now is like, I mean, you have your typical cops and robber, and then you have your usual gun scene and arrest and all that, okay, which is great.
Yeah.
But they should have more fighting. You know, Honolulu being kind of a lot of Asian. Of course, when Asian, there's a lot of martial arts, right?
Right.
Especially, and also parkour. I think the parkour, you know, just like the stop hit where you go to the remote cliffs and do dynamite fights in there, that would only add to the show.
Yeah.
But
I think
anyway,
so.
why don't you kind of give a little information on how much you were involved with 5-0 and where can you go from there?
Right. Well, like I said earlier, I did a few extra shots first, and then when they got to know me, then I got a few other parts. Like I played like a gangster a few times, more and more parts as a gangster, as a yakuza basically. I was playing that for a while until they gave me a role of a young named character named Mr. Kahele. So when I was Kahele, I was his younger version of this now retired mob boss. So he was a retired mob boss, and I was the
You
younger
were
version.
you were the young version.
I'm talking with this other co-star or guest star about how to knock off this one cop. So we're standing next to this really nice Thunderbird, and we're just talking about drinking. I'm drinking like a Coke or something, and we're talking about how we're gonna knock off this one cop and how to hide the body and everything. So that was a good one. It's already been aired, I think, maybe like a month or two ago.
But this is the mob
Yeah.
reminiscent, the old days. How
Yeah, the old days.
Right.
It's all
So
black
this
and white
maybe
kind of
happened
thing.
like what 30, 40 years ago in black and white.
Yeah.
And him, a younger self, played by you, and you talk about, you know, doing criminal activities and get away with it, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Okay, well,
Right.
I mean that's significant.
Yeah.
Although, if they're gonna add more character in 5-0,
Yeah.
you're up next. You know, you got the popularity here, right? And I hear a lot of people, people living in Hawaii, they don't care for 5-0. You know, they don't care. But I think if you got a significant part in there as one of the detective, okay, that would be a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
something
like I
good.
said, you know, like I said, they need more stunts and parkour and martial arts. They need
Yeah.
that. I mean, right now they don't. I mean, right now they got your usual, you know, guns and robbers and gunfight and some explosion, but that's not enough, especially for Hawaii.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true. Yeah.
if I may say, but I mean.
You're right. Yeah, I definitely think it could add more dynamic to this, and
Oh, yeah.
having someone like me as a local, like
Yeah,
who
oh,
wants
yeah.
to watch it, because yes, it's true. When you ask anyone on set if they're gonna watch it, they'll watch the one they're in. But
Well,
they
of
don't
course,
watch
they
any
know
others
Nate, right?
besides
You
that.
know, Nate Young is probably here, right? And if you're in 5-0, the ratings will go up the roof.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe,
anyway. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. So best of luck to you in that, you know.
Thank
And
you,
the
yeah.
5-0, they're still actively shooting, you know. And I don't know how many seasons
Right.
they have been here. How many seasons now?
No, it's 8 or 9 already, I think.
Yeah, so, you know, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they got the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
I guess whatever time we got, why don't you fill us in on your last production? What is your most up-to-date?
Yeah,
work?
so there's one called the Vatha. It's looking good so far. We're getting some good shots. That was mostly the special effects trailer, where
Uh-huh.
they had all the really cool, like they hired the guy who did, or the girl who did Marvel special effects. So
Okay.
she's doing it for us, and then she's gonna make it look really awesome. I'm basically in charge of the fight scene, and I'm also playing one of the agents.
Okay.
So I'm agent number 3. I fight the main characters as one of the most difficult bad guys to fight, which my boss is called Envy.
Okay.
But my character can split itself into 2.
Okay.
So I can split into 2, and I can fight these people with different powers and stuff. So we're gonna get to see that when the film comes out. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a good one. Like we're still within shooting right now, so it's
Mm-hmm.
early to say, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure exactly. I think we're gonna probably release it end of this year or beginning of next year.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we got a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to just introduce some of the choreographies that you did for this film?
Yeah, there's a few scenes.
And, you know, some exact movement you wanted to
Exact
just kind of,
movement?
you know, give the audience a little taste of that?
Well, sure. A lot of it is energy work, but also fighting too. A lot of general stuff. The Envy, which is the main bad guy, she actually uses the snake style. So she's like doing a lot of strikes with her darting fingers. You know, like
Okay.
Ouija.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So like moving this way and hitting,
mm-hmm, okay.
or like cutting and hitting this way. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
she does a lot of that kind of stuff. The other characters have a dragon style, like this guy named Ajudan. He does more like the dragon fist, where you can see
Mhm.
like kind of power coming out from his hands this way, or mixing
Mhm.
it together like this and
Mhm.
blasting it, right?
Okay.
So like, and he's kind of like a really big set guy, like super muscular. you
Mm-hmm.
know. The other guy, he kind of like does these teleporting kind of things. He teleports around. You saw him in the clip actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
He can actually shoot around like really fast speeds,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
fighting different characters. Yeah, and as I said, mine is more of like an all-around fighter, kind of like a ninja in a sense, because Agent 3 is kind of like an assassin.
Mm.
So he's more of an assassin. So in the beginning, one of my scenes, I'm actually like darting by and hitting
Mm-hmm.
the main character, trying to be elusive, and I'm just like a blur going by him a few times until he figures out my style.
Mm.
Then we start locking and doing like trapping, like Wing Chun trapping, hitting.
So it's pretty versatile. Then
Yeah,
you,
very
you
versatile.
add in a lot of different styles and a lot of different techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. So I guess, yeah, I'm excited about that. So best of luck to you in that. I assume that would be, you'll be wrapped pretty soon?
Yeah, well, we're wrapping maybe in another month. So I'll take
Another month. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And
Mhm.
then we'll see. We have to pick up any shots after that. But like I said, hopefully we're gonna finish it and get it out there by beginning of next year
Mhm,
or end of
mhm.
this year.
Okay. Well, that's great. That sounds exciting. I think, you know, you talk about yourself, kinesiology major, and ties in with the martial arts, which is, you know, all about human expression.
Yes.
And then, of course, also tied in culturally and commercially with filmmaking. I think, you know, that's a wonderful package that you're endeavoring yourself in. This is great.
Thank
So
you.
best of luck to you in that
Thank you
respect.
very much.
And I guess the time is up. So thank you again for coming to Hawaii Showtimes. I'm sure that we will see you again soon enough in following sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I'll be here.
Oh, so tell me, where? So you caught your bad guys here,
Yes,
and I saw that there was a lot of in the movie.
yes, yes.
So tell me, was that like really, really fun?
Oh, yes, yes, this fun. But even more fun than the Yellow Swan Gator, because after I retire, he has no job. So he went to the People's Republic of China. And I told Dr. Z, in this movie, I do my fighting and kick some bad guys.
And catch some.
Yes. Yes.
You think you could teach me?
Hello? Showtime.
Come on.